All right, fair use, fair use. It's your brother Wap. I'm back with another lesson. Lord willing to be edifying. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Waha, Rakak, Wadash, Baraka for Yahweh, Baraka for Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, a great millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 men of the Lord, you son of highways and byways, prophesying in the name and power of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Also in the correct doctrine. I want to send shalom to the 1/3 men, women, and children that will escape the judgment of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by their faith. As you see, breaking, China reportedly supplied Iran with hypersonic anti-ship missiles targeting U.S. carriers. So China is heavily involved in this war with Iran, man. They're heavily involved in this war, man. As you see here, it says update: both Russian and Chinese military advisors and technicians are in Iran helping Iranian forces fight the war. See, this is the same thing they was doing in Ukraine. They basically, you know what I'm saying, the West was doing in Ukraine. Now the tables have turned, man. It says Iranian forces fight the war. Russia is providing intelligence and targeting information to Tehran. It says China is also providing intelligence. This really is a world war. So that's plain, man. It ain't no up in the air. This it ain't gonna. It might die down. I ain't saying it ain't gonna die down, but this is it, man. These nations are picking sides and choosing sides, and we seeing these nations being roused up. I mean, all the other Western nations are being the spirit being put on them to get ready to fight this war, man. As you see, it says breaking. Iran says only Chinese ships can pass through the Straits of Hormuz, calling it a gesture for thanks. See, they are heavily involved in this war, man. And see, Babylon the Great doesn't know that they are preparing with them, man. I mean, they probably know that they're in the background, but they don't know how far this thing is going to go. They think, well, you know, we go on TV and say all this propaganda, and the American people are back what we're saying because they don't see what's going on in the background. But through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, we see what's going on in the background, man. This is plain, man. It says calling it a gesture of thanks. It says for Beijing support, all other vessels are banned. See, all other vessels are banned. And Trump said we're gonna, matter of fact, let me get that too. It says all other vessels are banned. It says in Tehran warns any unauthorized crossing will be met with military action. See, they're ready to sink ships that come across that, and they got a picture for you. This in the white. That's the Strait of Hormuz. So any vessels come through there that's not authorized is going to be met with military might, man, military actions, man. And I'm gonna pull this real quick that Trump said. That I got it. Let me see. I might have deleted it. I got so much shit. Yeah, it's right here. It's let me see. Look, I'll find it in my phone while I play these videos.
China is about to invade Taiwan. I want to make this clear. This is a prediction analysis based on historical context. The United States is bogged down in Iran right now. It cannot respond to a major conflict in a different place in the world right now. This opportunity will not be at China's feet for another generation. In China's best interest for Iran to bog down as much of the United States as possible. So look for arms sales from China to Iran. This would fit into place like a key because all of Trump's previous moves was based on intelligence that China was about to invade Taiwan. If China invades Taiwan, that will be a multi-regional, multipolar war, the very definition of a world war. I was right about Venezuela, and I was right about Iran. Am I right about Taiwan? We're going to find out soon, I think. So drop a follow on TikTok, subscribe on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. Love you guys. Talk to you later.
Yeah, when I was speaking about that Trump said he was going to use the Navy to escort oil ships through the Straits of Hormuz. So the small, tiny um, trading route is going to be, man, full of ships that's, what I'm saying, sunk to the bottom of it, man. And I don't know how the depths of it or anything like that, but shit, man, it's going to show you that we are here, man. And as he was saying, if China attacks Taiwan and continues to supply weapons to Iran, there's no way that Babylon can get out of this, man. There's no going to be no peace treaties. There's not going to be any of that, man. This is what's going to cause them to implement this MOTB, man, because their agenda was to go in and take over Iran and then implement it. But through the spirit, I just believe they're gonna be forced to implement it without taking that nation, because they're not gonna go out without a fight, man. And they're trying to move fast, and they're not holding back. The scripture tell you in Revelation 12:12, they only got a short time. And see, like I said, I don't know for a fact, but it just seems like they're gonna have to implement this digital takeover before they completely take over Iran, man. Because China is backing them, Russia is backing them, and it's all to take down China. Because China is really what's blocking them from bringing in their full NWO. Now check this out.
Hot take. I don't think that World War III will be declared until the United States invades Mexico. And that could happen anytime from the next couple of months or even 4 to 5 weeks. Because just yesterday, our president gave an estimate of 4 to 5 weeks for these Iran hostilities to end. I read the United States National Security Strategy, and in Section 2, they explicitly state that they are trying to prevent foreign ownership over key assets all throughout the Western Hemisphere, including the Latin Americas. They are planning to do this through a document called the Trump Corollary, which is essentially a 21st century revival of the Monroe Documents, stating that the United States has primacy over the Western Hemisphere to prevent Chinese influence. Now back to invading Mexico. Mexico sends over 80 to 90% of its copper ore exports to China. And just last year, 22% of their total copper exports went to China. A good rule of thumb is when copper prices go up, know that a war is coming. Because copper is highly conductive, it is irreplaceable in multiple weapons used in modern warfare. Same with lithium. And Mexico has one of the world's largest lithium reserves. So until the United States is able to take control over such a crucial market in war, we will not be able to adequately sustain ourselves because these metals are irreplaceable.
And I mean, and what she said is not far fetched for that to happen, because reason why it's not because they just now sent troops down to Ecuador to fight against their those groups down there. I forgot what they said. I don't know if it was T groups or militia group. I don't know, but they're going with joint force to go into Ecuador, and Cuba is right there, man. So they're fighting on the west and they're fighting in the east. So they're gonna be stretched too far, man. And we know that this is not um, just a couple weeks war, man. This thing's gonna be drawn out because France just sent their aircraft carrier to the I think it was I don't know if it's the Red Sea or over by the Small Hats. I think it's I forgot exactly. I'm gonna try to brainstorm, just tell you if I don't know. But the thing is, Great Britain, the West, the NATO nations are starting to get into this fight, man. While China is pretty much playing is strategic with Russia on moves they're making, man. They're not going in without a plan. See, China and Russia, they got great counsel, man. And they got this thing planned out how they want to take it, which we know the How Bashem Shai is controlling everything, and he's putting it on their spirit. But we see that that China, Russia, these BRICS countries are now rushing into a conflict. They're strategically planning what their move's going to be, man. Now check this out.
The real war isn't against Iran, it's against China. And here's why. Many believe the United States is focused on Iran. Officially, the justification is Iran's nuclear program. Unofficially, the real issue is energy. China imports over 10 million barrels of oil per day. Nearly half comes from the Middle East, and about 20% of the world's oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz, a strategic choke point that Iran could block at any moment. If that happens, the shock would be global, but China would feel the biggest impact. Oil prices would skyrocket, shipping costs would rise, and Chinese factories would suffer the consequences. For Washington, weakening Iran is a way to pressure China's main energy route without confronting the country directly. For Beijing, the dilemma is clear: intervene and risk escalation, or remain cautious and face a severe economic shock. This isn't just about Tehran, it's about controlling the energy routes that sustain China's growth. Imagine a war with no bullets, but capable of devastating China's economy. Perhaps the United States is using Iran as a strategic piece to weaken China without ever declaring an open war.
And that's what's happening. They're using um, Iran to weaken Babylon the Great and the Western nations because they're depleting all their defensive weapons. So they're not going to have any defense over the small hats and over Europe. Should all those Gulf nations, Saudi Arabia, UAE, they're already pretty much running out. Man, they got one of them. I heard they only have a week worth of munitions left. And so if they only got a week left, shit, you got to believe that the small hats should probably damn near out because they're calling in their systems from South Korea, Japan, which when North Korea attacks them, they're going to be out. So they're going to be open, man. See, this is what this goes to show you that the Lord is his determination is to destroy Babylon the Great, man. Because this is making him look weak on the world stage. Even though they go out and say all this on the news and they got all this propaganda machine running 24 hours a day and saying all these good things about them, but they don't understand that those nations have been prepared to fight against Babylon for many, many years, man. This is not nothing they just came up, just made a plan 2 months ago or a month ago. They've been planning for this for many, many years, man. And see, DT is running in this thing with his head down, man, not looking for the next punch. He just running in with his head down because he can speak good, and people believe what he says. But these nations are strategic military might, man, because they're joined together and see everybody on the West. They every man for himself. We got weapons. We can come against them, and that's what it is. But these nations, they're preparing together. They knew that Iran was gonna get hit. Boom. They hit Iran. Boom. This gonna happen. This gonna happen. They already planned for it, man. Now check this out.
Did China provide Iran with the satellite images of the joint forces of United States and Israel? Many people are very excited about it. So, is it true anyway? It is true, but not entirely. Because the one publishing the satellite images of US bases and aircraft carriers isn't China itself, but a Chinese private tech company founded only 5 years ago. So it can't be considered an official Chinese release. The company is called Misa Vision. These satellite images are real time with 0.5-meter accuracy, very clear, and if needed, capable of 24-hour monitoring. However, they are only published on Chinese internet platforms where anyone can use them like a report of weather forecast. Interestingly, in China, this is currently civilian technology and it's free. It's free to use. After all, when we use navigation while driving, it can pinpoint which lane your car is in and even count down traffic lights in real time. So just imagine, my friend, what must China's military grade satellites be like?
So he's saying that they're using the information that China is giving them is like a local app, like a Chat GPT or a Google Maps or whatever, over in their nation. and they're using it to perfection on the West. Now we know that what he's saying is not a lie, because as you see here, it says, "Strange China ship near the Straits of Hormuz has all its GPS signals completely scrambled." Now I don't know if you've seen that those ships of China was over there by the Straits of Hormuz before the attack happened. So they already knew this was coming, man. And they've been sending ships. I mean, not ships, but they've been sending military craft in there for a while. Man, I mean, I got more information, more information on it, but the point is proven, man. But in this lesson, I want to bring out that even though that I get that first, Moab is the washpot over Edom. So the Lord is using Moab to take down Esau. But Moab think he is the next power to rule, which through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we know for a fact he is going into hardcore slavery just like Esau and other nations. But he's puffed up with pride as well. And this is only for the household of faith. This is only for the hopeful elect, man. I just watch Apostle Gabar's lesson, man. Don't force nobody to try to get this truth. They ain't got it by now. It ain't meant for them to get it. Because the hopeful elect is more likely sealed, man. This is Psalms 60 in verse 8. It says, "Moab is my washpot over Edom. I cast out my shoe, Philistia, triumph thou because of me." And this goes into King David, but it's like gas. I'm try to pull it up. It's like it says, "Who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me into Edom?" And you know that this is talking about the King David, but the children of Israel, the house of David is being rebuilt. And this is what's going to solidify this scripture, man, being fulfilled. Because the Lord has made Esau bare, man. We discover all this, we bring all the information on him, and we also doing it on Moab. And that's what the Lord wants us to do, man. And we're bringing the Lord to these nations to know that the Lord is about to return, man. He's about to bring these nations down, man. And this is not not a doubt, man, about it, man, because I brought out the other day, yesterday, about they are saying that this is DT was anointed to bring in and bring back Yahweh, which they don't understand the day of the Lord. But see, Yahweh Shem Yahweh has given us his wisdom and understanding this, and we can see it plainly that what the Lord is doing through the Spirit. This is Amos 9 and verse 11. It says, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen." See, even though that the Lord is putting these nations against each other, as for the hopeful elect, the house of David. See, this is why the men of the Lord are prophesying his word, man. The true man of the Lord is calling on the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the hopeful elect, because the Lord is building us up to possess these nations after they go down. Verse 12, one more time, it says, "That they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen." See, all the heathen, Moab as well, which are called by my name, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that doeth this. See, the Lord is building us up to be able to take over rulership, which we know we're going to rule under Yahweh Shah and King David. But we are, Lord willing, we are part of this number. We are the house of David, man. We're representing Yahweh Bashem Yahushua on earth this day, man. We're representing Yahweh Bashem. We are ambassadors of the Lord, man. This is Numbers. This is Numbers 24. This is Numbers 24 and verse 17. It says, "I shall see him." This is Balaam speaking. He said, "I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh." It says, let me slow down. It says, "There shall come a star of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and will smite the corners of Moab." See, Moab is going to be part of taking down Esau, but the Lord is going to smite his corners, man. He's going to bring him down. And the children, all, and it's like it says, and destroy all the children of Sith, and Edom shall be a possession, Syria shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do violently. Out of Jacob shall come he that he shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And see, Esau is going to be a possession, man. Esau is going into hardcore slavery, just as well as these other nations, and we're going to possess them, man. Revelation 9, Revelation 13, 9 and 10, man. So we see that the Lord is putting in place Yahweh shall return, man, and put us in power over the enemies, man, over these nations. And they are clueless, man. They're just preparing to fight against each other, not knowing the Lord is going to return in the midst of this World War III, man. Because even though that Esau is in power and he's basically running around like a chicken with his head cut off, not knowing the moves to make. But Moab, Moab and the Medes, which is the Russians, they know what they're doing, man. But you see in the title it says the judgment of Moab, the judgment on Moab. And see, Moab is just as prideful as Esau, man. But he doesn't say it. He's not arrogant in a way that Esau is, man. This is Jeremiah 48, and drop down to verse 14. Just hit a couple points. It says, "How say ye, we are mighty and strong men of war? Moab is spoiled and gone out of her cities, and his chosen young men are gone down to the slaughter, said the king, whose name is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai of hosts." See, Moab is going to enter this war too, man. But he's going to fight against Esau, but he's ultimately going to fight against Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. And in Moab, man, he is clueless. See, the Moabites, all they're thinking about is they're gonna rule. When we take down Esau, we're gonna rule. You know what I'm saying? You hear them? They're pundits and shit too. They say that I know that one guy. He said we the only nation that has the nuclear hydrogen bomb combined. Which that's some shit. I ain't. You know what I'm saying? He said that motherfucker got a bomb. They got. I think we call it the DF-47 or some shit like that. I see in his interview. But he said we got the hydrogen bomb inside the nuclear bomb. So they got some shit. But they're pridefully boasting of their power too. But they're just not as arrogant as Esau is, man. Verse uh verse 15 again, it says, Moab is spoiled and gone up out of her cities, and his chosen young men are gone down to the slaughter, said the king, whose name is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. See, they're being prepared for slaughter as well. It says the calamity of Moab is near to come. And we're telling you through the Spirit, even though Moab got power, he got this, he's got that, he's going to go down too, man. The calamity is going to come on him as well. The calamities of Moab is near to come, and his affliction hasteth fast. See, he's not going to rule after Esau, man. He's going down just as well as him, as Esau. He says, all ye that are about him bemoan him, and all ye that know his name say, how is the strong staff broken, and the beautiful rod. And see, Moab is a military might as well, man. He's military power too, because they said he's also given Iran, Persia, a bunch of weapons too, man, to combat the small hats in Esau. I mean, Babylon. Dropping down verse 20, it says, Moab is confounded, for it is broken down. Howl and cry, tell ye it in Ekron that Moab is spoiled. See, he is going to be taking this as well as Esau, man. He just been put up to take down Esau, man. Dropping down to verse 25, it says, the horn of Moab is cut off. His power, his military might, it's going to be cut off as well, man. He's not going to have power after they go down, man. It says, the horn of Moab is cut off, and his arm is broken. His military might, said Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So he's through too. He's not going to rule after this, man. He says, make ye him drunken, for he magnified himself against Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So he's magnified himself against the Lord as well, man. It says, Moab also shall wallow in his vomit, and he also shall be in derision. That's plain. For was not Israel in a derision unto thee? So if we was in derision, shit, these other nations gonna be. He says, for was not Israel a derision unto thee? Was he found among thieves? For since thou spakest of him, thou skippest for joy. O that dwelleth in Moab, leave the cities and dwell in the rock, and be like the dove that maketh her nest in the sides of the whole mountain. We heard the pride of Moab. See, we heard the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud. His loftiness and his arrogancy and his pride and his haughtiness of his heart. See, this man is just as prideful as Esau. He just don't boast out like that, man. But he just as pride, man. He just as proud. I know his wrath, said Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, but it shall not be so. His lies shall not so affect it. So Moab is not gonna get away, man, from his impending danger that's coming up on Esau, man. He's just gonna be in the same boat as Esau. He just had a hand in taking down the enemy of Israel, man, the children of Israel. Dropping down to verse 42, it says, and Moab shall be destroyed. You see, his military might, his power, we just read, all his military might, his power, his technology is going to be destroyed with him, man. It says, Moab shall be destroyed from being a people, which we know is no end of the people. He's not going to rule, man. He says, because he have magnified himself against Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. That's plain, man. So he's going to be destroyed, man, for what he's done. He says, fear and the pit and the snare shall be upon thee, O inhabitants of Moab, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. So the Lord is telling you that the Moab is the Lord is on Moab too, man. He's not getting away. Which we know the Russians are Edomites as well. But Moab is not going to get away, man. See, a lot of people don't understand that even though that China got all this military might, this power, that his lot is to go down just as well as Esau's is, man. He just gonna have a hand in taking down Esau. That's it. Because he's boasting like he's going to be the next military might. They built their country up. They got all these skyscrapers, just unbelievable things over there, man. I seen they got over there in China. They got a damn robot that can run for you. If you just put on the damn suit, the damn thing will run for you, man. They got shit that you can walk on water. They got all type of shit, man. And that goes to show you that Moab ruled just as well as Esau did, man. They ruled pretty. This is both their kingdom, man, and they're gonna go down together. This is the GNT, Isaiah 15:1. It says, "This is a message about Moab. The cities of Ar and Kar are destroyed in a single night, and silence covers the land of Moab." So they're gonna be taken down the same day that Esau is, man. They're not going to rule after Esau goes down. That's it. Because at first, not at first, but I was hearing before GOCC that's saying that Moab is the next power to rule. They're not going to rule after this, and that's what their doctrine was. I don't know if they still teach that, but GOCC was teaching that Moab, which is the Chinese, are going to rule after Esau goes down. They're not going to rule after Esau goes down. They're going down they're going down with Esau. This is Ezekiel 25 and verse 8. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua power, because that because that Moab and Seir do say, behold, the house of Judah is like unto all the heathen." And see, they brought us down so low. They say we like everybody else, man. They paint us on their television as being the ones who rob you, hurt you, kill you, do all this wicked shit. They made us like unto the heathen, man. Both nations did. It said both of them, man. It says, Therefore, behold, I will open the side of Moab from the cities and from his cities which are on his frontiers. It says, the glory of the countries of Beth Jesman, Belmon. Let me just get it pronounced. I don't want to butcher. I know it's cities in China.
Beth Jeshimoth, Balmian, and Kiriathaim.
In Korea thing, Bethshemesh, Belma, and Kershia Gang. And see, you can just pull it up and do the same thing I just did if you don't understand the words. But these just cities that's in the country. It says, unto the men of the east with the Amorites, that's the Japanese. It says, and we'll give them in possession that the Amorites may not be remembered among the nations. And I will execute judgments upon Moab, and they shall know that I am Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai power, because of Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom. See? And cut off man and beast from it. So Moab, the prophecy against Moab and the prophecy against Edom. This is what we're prophesying against these nations that's coming down. All the heathen, but I want to focus on these two nations in this lesson. So the Lord is going to stretch out the hands upon Edom and cut off man and beast from it. And I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. So we're going to get our lick back, man. And they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. So we know that the judgment that's coming to Edom and what's coming to Moab, man. We know that the judgment is coming to them, and they're not going to get away, man. Their sins have reached unto heaven, and the Lord is coming to bring them down, man. He's coming to judge them, man. This is Zephaniah 2, and I'm gonna drop down to verse 8. It says, I have heard the reproach of Moab and the reviling of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border. See, the Lord heard this, man. Your sins have reached unto heaven. It says, therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai of hosts, the power of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah. See, comparing them to destruction. It says, even the breeding nettles and salt pits and a perpetual desolation. The residue of my people shall spoil them. See, we're going to possess them as well. And we're going to take their goods, man. And they're going to be under us. That's how we know for a fact we're going to be the next ruling class. The residue of the people the residue of my people shall spoil them, and the remnant of my people shall possess them. See, the remnant of my people shall possess them. And that's plain, man. We know that Esau is going to be a possession to us, and Moab, you said Moab and Ammon. So we know that Chinese and the Japanese, which we know their nationalities now, they're going to be under the children of Israel, man. Verse 10, it says, this shall they have for their pride. See, this is why they're coming down, because of their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against my people of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai of hosts, against the people of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai of hosts. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai will be terrible unto them. That's plain, man. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai will be terrible unto them. For they will famish all the gods of the earth. See, all those gods they worship, and Buddha and all that shit they worship, is coming down, man. And men shall worship him. See, the men are going to worship Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Everyone from his place, even all the isles of the heathen. All those nations are going to worship Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. And every knee is going to bow, man. So I'm in it there, Lord Williams edifying. Shalom. Shalom.